Computer, not deleting my inbox. Computer.
How you feeling, Stephanie?
Doing great. The sun is shining. It's not
Yes.
gloomy anymore.
You know, I have a window next to me, but I always feel like it messes up the lighting, so I always close the window blind before I go live.
That's so funny because my window is like directly right in front of me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's smart.
I mean, sometimes it is, but sometimes like when it's maybe around 1-ish, it's like in my eye.
You gotta put your sunglasses on for the meeting.
Yeah, I get to be a little cool when I go live.
That's funny. What a great time. This is gonna be a good show today. I'm excited. We're on track, and the crew's been growing. We've been having more and more people on YouTube, Stephanie.
I notice. I see some familiar faces. First off, shout out to Roseanne. Thanks for coming through. Drop in your comments. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Would love to hear where you're at.
See if in the next 45 seconds I can get YouTube up on my screen. So
It's a race. It's a race. You've got time. How's everybody doing?
Type it in the chat. How's your energy? Gonna see how everybody's
There you
feeling.
go. Got Tom. Tom's a 10. Lauren's a 10. Let's go. Thanks, Roseanne.
All right, I got the YouTube chat up. Welcome. What's up, Diane? What's up, Valerie? Welcome to the deal room. It is Wednesday, and you know what happens. What's up, Sue? So good to see you, my friend. So excited for you. What's up, Marlon? Welcome in. We got a lot to get to today, but before we do, you know what we like to do. I like to check in and see how you're feeling. How is your Wednesday? How's your week treating you? Because every single Wednesday we come together, we start off with a market update. What the heck is going on in the marketplace? Big State of the Union speech last night. And what the heck can we do to make sure that we are serving the marketplace in a way that pays us really well? And that's what this is about. And in doing that, we also are going to be diving into live seller calls. And then I get to have a conversation with one of the incredible Truka family. And this week, it's going to be Steve Perry, someone who I had the privilege of meeting not long ago. And he is part of the Truka family. And I'm excited for you to hear his journey and what he's got going on and much more. I believe you're going to be inspired. So today's market update is going to be a little different. What's up, Thomas? Good to see you. I'm glad you're feeling a 10, my brother. So I have to ask you, by the way, we're going to do a market update. What are you drinking today? I got coffee, and I have to be totally transparent. This is a live stream, and so, it's live. There's no edits. What you see is what you get. And for some reason, Stephanie's laughing at me. For some reason, this is not a complaint. I'm just letting you guys know in case I seem a little low energy. I don't feel low energy, but my Aura ring claims that I have sleep debt going on, and so I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's my age or something else, but for some reason, I wake up early every single morning between 4 and 5, no matter when I go to sleep. And some mornings it's closer to 3, and I, when I can't sleep, I talk to God. Me and him hang out and have a good time, and then I get to work. So what a great Wednesday. All right, we got Sue drinking some Diet Coke and some water. We've got Charles drinking water. Heck yeah. Shobna's drinking tea. I like me some tea. All right, welcome in. What's up, Randy? What's up to my YouTube crew? All right, so the market update is going to be different today, and here's how it's going to be different. Keep the chats hopping. We're going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to be dialing your leads. Mainly, we have some follow-ups, but the market update is going to be different today, as in, yes, I'm still going to share with you the updates and what's happening right now in the Midwest, becoming a safe haven for investors. But I want to be a voice of reason, because so many people I have found, I believe there's always been, Solomon said there's nothing new under the sun. There's always been right and left, and there's always been back and forth. But with AI and with everything happening, I've met a lot of my friends, a lot of people I've talked to who are giddy. They are so excited about the opportunities. And then I've talked to some people, especially people who work jobs, work maybe in regular businesses and flows, and they are going, well, crap, it's a little scary. What's going to happen? And I get both of those thought processes, and I agree. The unknown always allows room for fear or concern. And that makes sense. Be cautious, be vigilant for sure. But I want to be a voice of reason for a moment. I share, and I want to explain this very importantly. Those of you who have been around, you come hang out with us at the live events, and you hear me give this frame of thought, but it's so important for my Truka crew that you guys are in this frame of thought. And that is realizing every headline you read is written that way for a reason. It's to get a certain reaction. And I thought it was so interesting last night. I was on a meeting, and so I didn't get to see the first part of the State of the Union address. I seen the last part. And I catch up because I thought, I wonder if there's some things in there about real estate. There might be some stuff affecting real estate investors. I'm going to catch up on what's going on. And I start looking at news reports online. And one of the first news reports I see is Republicans cheer at Trump kicking 2.4 million people off of SNAP benefits. And I was like, what an interesting headline. Now, regardless of whether you're Republican or Democrat, it wouldn't be smart for anybody to cheer about someone kicking people off SNAP benefits. Who here realizes that's probably not what happened? It was a reframe of what happened. Now, regardless of whether you agree with Trump or you don't, you start to understand that what actually happened. So I go back and I look and I'm going, where'd this come from? Trump says we have lifted 2.4 million people off of SNAP, which in my translation says because of rising wages for the first time in many years, several people no longer need the benefits. Now, whether you agree or don't agree, the frame is much different. And I share this because what you are seeing is you are seeing two camps of people right now. You're seeing people who go, oh, crap, AI is changing everything. Jobs are going to be out of. What are we going to do? A bunch of people are going to be out of jobs. What if the sky is falling? It's the same people that have been waiting for the last decade for real estate prices to tank. It's the same people that are selling fear 24/7. And then you have people that say, you know what? $84 trillion is going to change hands over the next 20 years. There is 10,000 people a day turning 65 plus. There is 10,000 people a day crossing that barrier. You start to look at those stats and you go, wait a second. There's a whole bunch of people who are looking to hand over businesses, sell houses. There is a transfer of wealth that's happening. So where does that put us? That puts us who are playing the game regardless of age, whether we're 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, doesn't matter. We get to have an opportunity to help people who are looking to sell their properties, people who inherited properties. We get to step into that transfer of wealth. It's happening in a big way right now. So AI speeds that up. What do I mean by that? AI speeds that up because what happens as you're watching in front of your eyes, AI change everything, changing a lot of the workforce. In very short order, yes, there probably will be substantial unemployment, but you know what else there'll be? Substantial opportunity. And so I want to paint the picture for a moment and be, as I said, that voice of reason. We're going to dive in and we're going to be calling some live sellers because I want to negotiate deals live. And I want to talk to you about something that's very important today. I think it's going to be very helpful, framing us up for 2026 ahead. Who here, I got to see from my YouTube crew, I know all my Zoom crew, you're part of the Truka crew. For all of my people on YouTube, if this is your first time joining us on the live stream, just put a 1. If you've been here before, put a 2. I want to see who we got on the YouTube live stream because we got a good crew watching over there. And thank you for being here. So while those chats are coming in, a 1 if this is your first time watching the live stream, and a 2 if you've been here before, I want to point out that the Midwest markets is shifting big time. I want to point out a couple of data points. Now, this is not obviously to do with the Midwest markets, but 23% of searches for homes for sale in Vegas are originated in California. Meaning 23% of people searching to buy houses in Vegas right now are people sitting in California when they're searching that up. Very interesting note. Now, why do I share that? All right, what's up, crew? We got Just Me NC is first time. Welcome. We got Israel, first time. Welcome. Welcome back, Clay. Carl's first time. Welcome in. Good to see you. Keep them coming. So, as you're looking at this transfer of wealth that's happening right now, what I've been talking about that has been happening and is still happening in a big way is that the Midwest, I call it the Midwest Gold Rush. You guys who have been around have heard me preaching about this for the last 2 years, that Midwest is where you want to be. Why? Prices are continuing to elevate. Why? Because people are still looking for affordable houses. And there's $1.3 trillion of credit card debt. So yes, I'm not saying there's not some economic challenges ahead, but what I am saying is the doomers are selling you fear and they're getting it wrong. The Midwest Gold Rush, the Midwest provides opportunities for incredible amounts of gathering wealth, buying properties, Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, where houses are still affordable, where in the West Coast, they're getting pushed out a lot of times. So for each of you, being able to structure this, you can do this business from anywhere you have an internet connection, being able to position yourself in the markets that you know are what I call, type it in the chat, emerging markets. Emerging markets. Something else that's happening is, as the news article on your screen, thank you, Stephanie, the news article that's on your screen right now, it references Peoria, Illinois. It references Fort Wayne, Indiana, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, South Bend, Indiana, Davenport, Iowa, Rockford, Illinois, Wichita, Kansas. It mentions Toledo, Ohio, Lansing, Michigan, Wichita Falls, Texas. And it talks about the continued increase in pricing that is happening there. But it's not crazy pricing that's driving people out of the market. It is being a safe haven for people who want reasonable prices. Now, here's a quick note, quick data. And those of you who've been here before, normally I am just almost data dumping on you at this point in the first 10 minutes of the live stream. And so I wanted to do a little bit different today, and we'll be back to the data dump next week. But 40% of people are worried about a market crash right now. According to Clever Offers survey, 55%, though, believe prices will rise in 2026. 73% say it's a good time to buy, and 72% say it's a good time to sell. Now, I think that's a very interesting stat because what happens is people of wealth run in when others run out. And right now, there is a lot of fear being sold in the marketplace. All right, so back to Midwest Gold Rush, back to what is happening in the market for you right now before we get to these live dials. I want to drive home the point that if you are looking to buy houses and looking to invest in real estate, I love the markets. Shout out to Joe and Judith. I heard they just closed 2 more deals yesterday. Shout out to Valerie. I think you got a deal closing here shortly. Shout out to Kay. So good to see you. We had a great chat yesterday. Kay just done a Buffalo deal in Oakland City, Indiana. And so many more of you. Steve, I know, has multiple deals in progress. I don't know if there's any under contract right now in the Midwest, but you guys are crushing it in the Midwest, and they're easy price points. We're still getting houses for $100, $150, $200, $250,000. And you are still getting houses that actually can make cash flow, not big cash flow, but some cash flow with lease options, with rents being higher than the payment going out. A lot of tired landlords are out there talking about exactly that, being tired landlords. You just can't make money in real estate no more. There is no cash flow left in real estate. And so when what used to work ain't working no more, what do? Do we get mad and quit playing the game and determine it's destined for us to be broke? No, we change the way we're playing the game. So this is the perspective I want to give you guys as a voice of reason in crazy times, is it's time to change the way we're playing the game. Yes, buy owner finance, sell lease option. Yes, buy in the Midwest, even if you're on the West Coast or the East Coast or somewhere in between. Yes, you can do this in Texas and Florida and everywhere in between, and California too. But I like markets that I'm most likely positioned for success. somebody come to me and said, well, Andrew, I live in California and I have a lot of connections out here. Can I do this business here? I said, yes. And if I told you, hey, you can do it in a market where you're likely to do 1 to 4 deals a year, and I don't know how many months it will be, depending on how new you are, before you get your first deal, maybe longer. Or you could go to a Midwest market where you're more likely to do higher volume, even though the profit centers might not be as big, but you are more likely to get a deal much sooner. Which would you prefer? Well, if you're new, my gosh, you probably want a deal much sooner. I know I did when I started. And so set yourself up for success. Choose markets that are emerging, choose Midwest markets. AI is shifting everything. And here's something else I have not heard a lot of people talking about. And I know there was February 20th, I believe it was, the news report came out talking about institutional investors or those who own more than 100 properties based on the executive order President Trump signed banning institutional investors. Something that I want to point out for you guys is with the shift, an AI shift, I believe this started back in COVID, but you guys heard of Zoom cities back in COVID. In other words, people were leaving some of the bigger cities because they didn't have to go to the office no more, and they were buying in smaller markets where they could do their meetings from virtually. And I share this because I believe as AI shifts how people are going, yes, places like San Francisco, right, the Bay Area, that may get hit hard as people move out, or other places where there's tech heavy going on. But generally speaking, in the Midwest, where cost of living is much lower, I was just talking to one of my California realtor friends out here, and he was telling me people are selling, several of clients he's working with that are selling their houses to buy in Michigan. Like, number one, not quite sure why you want to leave SoCal to go to Michigan. But secondly, I get it, because they're selling a house out here. They're getting a nicer house there, and they're paying 20% of the price. I get it. So they're taking money and invested it. They lived out here for many years, and they've had a credible appreciation. All right, so that sunshine tax just got a little too expensive, I guess. So we're in an exciting time. The market, yes, it's shifting. It always does. And most people get stuck in a loop. And I'm not promoting Bitcoin. I'm not a crypto pro. I have been doing real estate for years, and that's what I put all of my effort and energy into. But I notice it in short order with crypto. I see Bitcoin going up. People get excited. They buy, 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 buy. I see it, as it recently did, took a little downturn. Now, if I said to you, hey, there's this asset that's worth $300,000, you can pick it up for $60,000, who's in? Give me a yes in the chat. Who's in? $300,000 asset for 60 grand. Yes, you're in. Going, crap, I can get some money there. Now, I'm not suggesting that you should go out and borrow money against your house to go buy crypto at all. I'm just making a point. That is a no-brainer opportunity. I've been buying crypto a little bit. What I am okay with losing, I might add. Not big time. So why? Because I don't fully understand crypto. I mean, I have my head wrapped around it. I study it. I geek out on it sometimes, but real estate's my jam. And so understanding, I see the yeses coming in. Heck yeah. So understanding that, hey, probably right now, over time, Bitcoin will continue to rise. It's probably at a big discount. So it's probably a smart time to buy. But what do most people do? I call it emotional investing. Crap, the market's going up. Got to get in, got to get in. Oh, crap, it's going down. I got to get out. I got to get out. Crap, why do I always lose money investing? Well, it's going up again. Let me get in. Well, crap, it's going down. I got to get out. And people follow that loop so many times. That's what the stock market does. That's what so many places, that's what happens. And so I challenge you, think different, be different, run in when others run out. When stuff starts tanking, I go, well, crap, I guess I got to buy some more. When it starts going up, I go, well, should I pause or should I keep buying? Because I don't plan on selling. I plan on holding. And so if you look at the game and understand the way it's played, your whole world will begin to operate differently. And that's what I want for you guys. All right. So for my Zoom crew, how's your energy? I got to see now if you guys' energy are coming up. I got to feed off this energy, and we're going to do some live dials. Who's ready? Oh, yeah. Give me some oh, yeahs in the chat. All right, we have some leads to dial, and I have some notes for you guys I think are going to be very important. When it comes to buying these houses, I do my best to simplify. I do my best to simplify everything. We buy on payments, we sell on bigger payments. What happens when we simplify everything? Well, number one, not everything goes as planned. I want you to know that. I want you to be able to make good money with bad numbers. But what is Bofslow? It's buy, owner, finance. It's sell on lease option. Hey, what's up? Tresavon. Good to see you. What a cool name. What's up, Randy? Welcome in. What's up, Renee? So we are going to dial. We're going to start off by doing a follow-up. Darylyn's one of our Truka community, and she sent a lead in. This is a guy with a restaurant and a house. We had a chat with him the other day, and he's been a little bit wavering. He couldn't seem to make a decision, and so we are now doing a follow-up call to get him to a certain conclusion. Now, I want to point out for all of you guys, the money is in the follow-up.
Call has been forwarded to voice.
The money is in the follow-up because so many times people will not have the answer or they want to think about it. Hey, George, it's Andrew. How you doing, man?
Very good.
Good. Did I catch you at a good time?
No, nobody. I'm with a customer right now.
You're a hard man to reach. When you want me to call you back?
Like 5 p.m., please.
5 p.m. I won't
Right
be,
on.
unfortunately, available then. I can call you back in like 30 or I can call you back tomorrow, which is better for you.
Tomorrow, please.
All right. Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you so much, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Next. Anya, if you could note down that we'll call George back tomorrow. Darylyn, note down to keep track of that. And for all of you, YouTube and Zoom, put your questions in the chat. I want to answer your questions. I want to get them up on the screen. I want the interaction. It gives me energy. All right. So, oh, I know this guy. What's he selling?
He wants to sell all of them. Actually, he said he had 4 million he wanted to sell. He's doing a closing. I just picked a few and said, "Hey, let's start there."
Where's the list?
He hasn't gotten into me yet.
All right, cool.
Andrew, I have that email. You already did that follow-up. You remember back in October, and haven't heard from her. I texted her. Maybe it's a different one. Remember we sent an offer for 650?
Are you talking about the 54 properties for sale?
54, 57.
You don't want those properties.
Okay.
But
Talking
good
to her as
question.
well. I picked out 5 of those ones. Now this is a different guy. He has 31. Actually, wait. I don't know the number that he's got.
You should, the two of you should connect, Steve and Judith. The two of you should connect. We're next calling Judith. We're calling your lead Samuel. You guys should connect because what happens with these, which number one, any of these guys you're sending, Joe, Dillip, all of the guys that are in Evansville, I know all those guys, and which can be good or bad. Meaning good that yes, it's good that they know that we're for real, but also I have preconceived notions, and I know both of those well. And I will tell you, Judith, on the big portfolio, the where we left off, it's simply not worth following up. And again, you can follow up if you want to. I just know that what happens with that certain type of deal. And then with and then I'm live streaming, so I'm not gonna be as direct as I could be. If I wasn't live streaming, Judith. For you, Steve, on Joe's deals, Joe's a good dude as far as I know. We've met a couple times over the years. We've talked about doing deals, but over the last decade since having met him, we've never came to numbers on anything ever. And I'm very much a win-win guy. And so there's a lot, and I want you guys to all understand this. And these guys are doing deals. I'm not downing them, but understand there's a lot of talkers. And so your job is to be able to bring them to a meaningful conclusion. And so in this case, Steve with Joe, we'll call him here in a moment. We'll talk to him about those deals.
Yeah, he wanted to call tomorrow on Thursday.
Your call has been.
Judith, your deal, Samuel, is going straight to voicemail. So we are going to call Mr. Felton again. He was 87 years old. Anya, do you have notes on Mr. Felton? Got to get somebody on the phone here.
For Mr. Felton, Andrew, you would want to look at Fast Track row 124 for that.
Thank you.
Hello.
Mr. Felton, it's Andrew Schlag calling you back. How are you, brother?
Good. Who is this?
This is Andrew. I think we had talked about your house in Columbus for sale.
I've talked to many different people. Yes. Go ahead. What are you interested in?
Well, we had a chat the other day, and I was talking about buying it, but doing it through a delayed cash sale where we pay you out over time. And you was kind of on the fence about the idea and was wondering how long. And so I told you I'd give you a call back after you put some thought into it.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, just wanted to see if that was something that works for you. If we could buy it for 160, and then what kind of monthly payments you'd be looking for. Can we pay you out the full 160?
Well, I've been getting $1,000 a month, net after all over, rented for $1,350. And take the taxes, the insurance, everything out. I was getting about $1,000 a month. So, how much would you pay down?
Normally, if we pay, retail like this, since we pay all the closing costs, we buy with nothing down.
Mm-hmm. Well, what would you put down?
Well, I'm at 0. What do you want to be at?
Well, at least 5. I wouldn't do it less than that.
Would you do $800 a month if we put 5 down? Net in your pocket?
I consider it.
Okay. If we bought it for 160 with 5 down, 800 a month. How is it currently rented, or it's empty right now? I forgot.
No, it's empty.
It's empty. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not quite sure about your program. I've been doing some checking on it, but I guess what you do is you find somebody who wants to rent it with the option to buy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, after I buy it from you and put the 5 down, and then I'm paying you $800 a month, then we have quite a few people around there who need some time to qualify and new on the job or self-employed or whatever the case may be, run their own business, and we put them in, let them rent it for a little bit till we can help them get fixed what's broke with their credit. And then of course that's when we get paid. But in the meantime, you're free and can move on. We're responsible for maintenance, repairs, and taxes, and insurance, and all that.
Okay, but normally how long does it take before you get somebody that buys a house?
Well, sooner than later. I've had it take 90 days on the extremely surprisingly good end, and I've had it take several years on the surprisingly bad end. So I won't make you a promise I can't keep, but we're working on the same team because I want to get it cashed out because that's when I'm going to make a profit.
Yeah.
So what if we agree on the final numbers? How soon would you be looking to move forward?
I would say by next week.
Next week.
If you send me something, you have my email.
If you don't mind, give it to me again. I think my partner does, but just tell me what it is. I do have that. It's on another paper laying on my desk right here. So if I send you a purchase agreement for 160 with 5 down and 800 a month, what other questions might pop up between here and okay?
Well, I guess, yeah, I was talking to my partner, who we buy and sell real estate, and we got rental property. It's just, it's I told, you work with Nina? Is it Nina?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. As I told her, I'm 87 years old, and I'm getting to a point that I like to just, back down a little bit and start enjoying life instead of working all the time. And so I need to know, how this would kind of work out with my age.
Mhm.
Who knows? We could go today. With no way to know that, but I have to leave my my kids. I got two daughters. I have to leave them with a situation that they have to recover the price of the house or the balance. So I'm assuming the $800 a month comes off of the 160, right?
That's correct. Yeah, and it's paid to you, and it's all done through an attorney. And so, if something could happen to me tomorrow too, but if something ever happened, then yes, the paperwork would draw it up as such, where it would go to whoever you choose as a beneficiary.
Yeah. Well, the attorney that I've been using here in town is Aaron Cross.
Okay.
You might want to see, you check them out yourself, but I've done probably 10 houses with them. And I've been doing this for the last 15 years, and it's just come to a point that, my sweetheart and I want to travel a little bit and go have fun, getting tired of working all the time.
Yeah, it's time to enjoy those deals a little bit,
Absolutely. I worked hard all my life, and now I was in the corporate world for 40 years. And then I opened my own business, and then
What an inspiration this guy is. 87, I'm going to start traveling. Like, let's go.
I used to shine shoes for my dad. He was a barber out at Fort Benning.
Oh, wow.
I was his shoe shine.
What
I
year
was his shoe shine. That was, let's see, it would have been 1947, 48.
Can you guys hear the sound okay? That's awesome, man. I love to hear that. Well, let's do that. So, are you the only owner on the house, or is it you and your sweetheart?
Yeah, no, she has her part and I have mine.
Okay.
So we just work together and trying to manage it all. But this is my house,
And it is an LLC, or is it in your personal name?
It's in my personal name.
Okay.
And there's no mortgage on it.
Yep.
There's nothing owed on it, no liens, no nothing on it. So, it should be, the title should be real clear, real easy, no hassle of any kind. So,
Yeah.
we just got to digest this a little bit and think, is this going to be good for me and my family? And
Absolutely.
give me the week, got to win for me, got to win for you. So
That's so true, brother. And I appreciate your attitude, and let me know, any questions pop up, you can reach out to Nina and ask, and we'll look forward to potentially wrapping it, assuming it's a win-win. Of course, once you sell it to us, you're free and can move on and be the easiest sell you ever made. I can assure you that. But as long as the numbers are win-wins, we'll be able to wrap it up quite quickly, assuming everything you just said about the title. That's where normally things hang up if there's a lien or something that was a problem, and so that's not the case there. So we'll be good.
there's no problem there. So anyway,
Okay.
by the next week, send me what you got. Let it. My girlfriend and I spend the weekend going over all of our stuff and all the things we have. We don't live together. She got her house, I've got mine. So, but we spend time looking at our business and what we want to do and where we want to go. She's 83, I'm 87. So we're getting tired.
Yeah.
We get to a place we want to say, hey, did we do this? Did we die?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
If we work this out, I need you to take that $5,000 and I need you to go on an international trip. Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's see how this works. Okay.
All right, brother. We'll talk next week.
Now, okay. What is your name?
My name's Andrew Slag, and my partner's Nina, and we'll have that purchase agreement out today before the day's out. And any questions you have, then we'll answer them when we talk here first of the week.
Okay. All right, Andrew. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, man.
Talk soon.
Bye.
Bye for now.
Bye.
All right, Nina, go get the contract signed. All right, Joe called me back already. Steve.
Let's go.
Joe, how you doing, brother?
Hey, you doing good? How about yourself?
I'm good. I was sitting here with Steve Perry. We was doing some stuff together, and he said, "Hey, will you call Joe?" And I said, "Heck yeah!" And I said, "Wait, what's his last name?" I said, "I know this guy." So, he said, "Well, he's in a closing. Don't bother him." And I said, "I know, Joe. I want to bother him."
We're sitting here, it's closing right now, actually.
I love it, man. I love it.
We're
Uh,
waiting on everything to come through. But you're interested in some of the properties possibly, or what's the deal?
yeah. Steve and I are, buying a few things together, and a couple of
Okay.
something he saw in yours caught his eye. So just looking to get that list together.
Very. My one of my buddies used to work for a guy named Steve Perry. Dan Green. Are you with him now?
I don't know. Was Steve Perry a nice guy?
Hey, I think he was. He said
Okay, well, it's probably the same one.
he was. I thought he was an older guy though. That guy I talked to didn't sound very old.
No, he's not very old. He's probably somewhere between mine and your age. But yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, cool. When will you be getting him that? From my understanding, we're waiting on like a list of a few of the addresses. Is that right?
I mean, I've got multiple for sale, so I can go over that with you. I can't right this minute,
Of
but
course, of course.
once I get out of the closing, I'll try to get round up a list of things. And I mean, I explained to him though that my stuff is pretty much retail,
Yeah.
and if he's just thinking about doing flip, they're not going to be flip houses, just to be straight.
Yeah, he'd be looking to do the same thing that you and I talked about before, where either obviously not a big discount, but just for you to be the bank on it. I know we've talked about deals like that both directions over the years. So is that an option where you might finance him on it?
I don't think I want to do that unless there's some kind of a gimmick or trick to it, because I'm basically just giving up my options on it. And I know that, if anything goes bad, it just the bankruptcy away from losing everything. So
Are they all, and I think you told me this already last time we talked a few months ago, but are they all got debt on them?
no, I paid everything I got free and clear.
Okay. All right. Would you do for him, and it's okay either way, just checking. Would you want to do a contract for deed?
No, not unless there's a massive amount of money down.
How much is massive?
Shit. Half to three quarters.
Uh-huh. Okay. Would they, knowing the portfolio like you do, would they cash flow if he?
Absolutely. I mean, if he Airbnb them, or if he put like any kind of specialty thing in there, they would blow it out. But if he just these are nice houses. I mean, everything's redone. Some of these I got 300,000 to 400,000 in. My money is 300 to 400 grand. But they're huge homes. They're all great big houses. They're all redone to the max. And I don't know if it'd be a good fit, just to be straight with you, but
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys got any other ideas, I told him it may be wasting his time, is what I told him, but just, I don't know what he said. He said, well, we got some creative things. And I said, well, you guys can talk to me about it, but I just don't know. I know that what I need out of it. I need to cash out, and things are selling right now. So, I think that, honestly, I'll probably have them all cashed out in the next 3 or 4 months anyway. But
What if he could do like half down and the rest over time? What kind of terms would you be looking for the other half?
I don't know. We'd have to just sit down and put numbers to it. But right now there's roughly close to $4 million worth of stuff on the market. So
Is it listed?
Bailey's got a few of them. Bailey Edmonds got a few of those, and then some of the other ones haven't hit yet. But we're getting ready to list those here shortly.
Okay. All right. Yeah, if you don't mind, send that list over to Steve. Do you have it handy where you can just like forward the list like without working too hard?
Not right offhand. Let me put that together, and then I'll let you know. It'd probably be tomorrow, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, just send that to Steve, because with what I know he's looking to do, he's got the effort and energy, and together we could connect it up where, if we did put half down, and wouldn't need a big discount, but enough to maybe save you the realtor fees or whatever. Where it's a way we could turn it to a win-win, and you'd have a one-stop shop for selling the whole joint instead of going to a couple dozen closings, because that always makes it easier. But yeah, send it over, and then let's connect here tomorrow or the next day.
Okay. Have you dealt with the VA or the what is it? Military? What was that called?
The VA?
It was there's some kind of VA thing that's going on that people are doing. They're putting multiple veterans in houses, and supposedly they're getting anywhere from 15 to 20,000 a month off of regular little houses.
Yeah, I have a couple friends who dabble in that, but yeah, there's a lot of nuances to it, but there's some big money opportunities for sure.
I mean, these houses I got would absolutely clean up, probably 30 grand a month, because they're so big. I mean, they're 3,000 to 4,000 square feet, 6-bedroom homes.
Yeah.
And in great areas too. So I don't know. We're looking into that as well.
Yeah. No, that's cool. It makes a lot of sense. And shoot, that'd make them worth more if you done that. Of course, you got to do a lot of fixing and adding and crap to them, but you know how to get that stuff done. What do you?
They're all done. All these houses are either move-in ready.
What if you? Right. But I mean, if you're gonna rent them like almost by the room to veterans, what I meant by that. If you do this, what kind are you 1031 in the money? You got the plans for it, or what's the strategy on your exit?
I don't know that yet. I was going to figure that out with the accountants once that kicked in.
Yeah.
But I've got a lot of debt that's owed to my company from borrowing money and then borrowing it from my home equity and all those different things. So a lot of it's going to go away to just repayment.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, as soon as Steve gets that list, he and I a rendezvous, and then we'll hit you back in the next 24, 48.
Sounds great, bud.
All right, brother. Talk soon. Bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
All right. Pursue it, Steve. I'll share with you when we talk kind of the backstory there, because I know the backstory there very well, as I do on Judith, your portfolio that you're following up on as well. And so here's something I want to share with you guys. It's very important as we're putting this together. I'm going to call another seller. I'm going to be bringing Steve up in just a moment and having this chat. By the way, questions. Do we have questions? Questions. Put a Q in front of your question and put them in the chat. I'm going to answer all your questions as well. What do we got here?
This is from Dr. Steve. I'm sure he could just unmute himself. He goes, is this true? A creative finance investor told me there's a law that says it's illegal to do seller finance unless you're paying at least 4% interest.
So always close with a real estate attorney and always have everybody check with their CPA. Is there a lot of nuances? Yes. Have I bought plenty of houses closing on a real estate attorney with principal only payments? Also, yes. And so while there's not a direct yes or no to that answer, Steve, and again, we could deep dive in. I'm not an attorney, don't claim to be, but I'd be happy to deep dive in on that and share with you where people are getting that thought process from. But my short answer is always close with a real estate attorney, always use your CPA, and always have them check with their CPA. And we do what we do best, and we hire others to do what they do best. And again, as long as we're closing with an attorney, we make sure everybody's winning, and it's all done legally, moral, ethically, and above board. That's the thing we get to do. So good question, Steve.
Now, is the tax benefit of selling over time worth discussing with Joe?
Yes. So this is where I said I have preconceived notions. Yes, normally. And with Joe, I know that that's probably not a concern to him.
Got it. And then Miss Jane was asking, what about capital gains for him? This is a
normal good question to ask. I know that seller well, or not real well, but I've crossed paths with him, and so I know his situation quite well. And in his case, likely will not be a problem.
Now, this was something from earlier. I think you're talking about the limits on the houses. So HP is asking, is that 100 per LLC? So if you have 2 LLCs, you could do more?
That's a really good question, Mike. The answer in short is no one knows. And the reason no one knows is because just like Dodd-Frank says you can't do more than the number just escaped me. I believe it's 5 owner financing transactions a year selling them. Then you have people going, well, gosh, that's per entity, right? And then they spin up another entity. Well, then you go, well, who owns that entity? And so very smart thinking. You're a creative transaction genius, and it shows. And there will always be a workaround. Like, understand that Congress and the Senate is not going to pass any laws that are not good for rich people. We just have to figure out how to use them as well. And so I share that with you because yes, in technicality, that's a great question to ask. And there is going to be a workaround regardless of what it is. And it will be tried in courts and people will win and lose. And that's where we get case law, right? So that's where we get to avoid most of those litigations by looking at the case law. So awesome question. What else we got?
That's it for now. Well, I do have one from Bill. I think this is more of just logistics. So did you see his lead about Harley in Vermont? I think it's for you and Anya.
I don't know if I did or not, but I'll find out.
Wait, hold on a second. I got a sound effect for you.
And that's what I call high quality H2O.
Did you hear that? High quality
I heard
H2O.
I didn't know what it was from, but I like it.
It's from Waterboy.
Wonderful time. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. How's the energy now, guys? Type it in the chat. I got to make sure everybody's awake. I see my people on the Zoom screen. My YouTube folks, are you still awake over there? All right. So what is the objective? Get sellers on the phone, solve their problem. Now, I often will have people ask me, especially if they are wholesalers or from that background or kind of from a hard sell background. Well, Andrew, couldn't you, push harder? Yes. And you absolutely can. When I started, I would have too. I am too old to deal with crap. If I have to beg somebody to sell me their house, then I'm going to have to beg them to close it after I've contracted it. And then after I've begged them to close it, I'm going to have to beg them to work with me to accept monthly payments. Obviously, we negotiate that up front, but you get the point. And so for me, I set the tone up front. If this is a win-win, let's do it. If it's not, there's more deals right behind it. It's the persona that is real for me, and it's the one that works for me. Now, that being said, in the cases of the 56 house portfolio, with the one that Judith has brought and been following up on, is there a chance somebody could go in and negotiate this, a deal, and get these done? Yes. I also know the properties. I know that the properties have lots of deferred maintenance, and I know that somebody's got to go in there and manage all these darn things. And then I also know the seller, and I know there's a lot of moving pieces there. And the same with Joe. I know his situation. And so with him looking to sell these properties, I know that Joe has certain patterns of investing, and it's unlikely to get a deal done. It's worth a follow-up call to determine if we can help out or we can't. And then we'll conclude that call, and we'll keep being distant friends as we always have been. And so understand I'm in the relationship business, and yes, I could hard close people way more. Yes, I could convince them way more. I bring that up, though, because in this business, your word should be your bond, and your reputation will always precede you. And what really caught my attention, this is so important, guys, as you're doing this business, we're going to get, yes, we'll call Bill's lead next. What we often find in this real estate investing business, and this first hit me big time in 2015, when I went to buy a house, and when I asked, how'd you hear about me? They said, my neighbor. And I said, well, who's your neighbor? And they told me their neighbor's name. And I said, well, gosh, I didn't buy his house. I went and negotiated a deal, but it didn't come to fruition. We never agreed on price, and so we didn't end up buying it. They said, I know, but the way you presented, he said you was different than all the other investors that came out and trying to buy his house. And so I want that to be the takeaway for you, is how are you different? That doesn't mean being a pushover. That doesn't mean not being intentional with your follow-up, as every one of you should be. I say be like a dog with a bone, like don't give up, but also get to meaningful conclusions. Because what a lot of investors will do, especially, is they will drag you out. They will tell you to call them next week, and then next week, and then next month, and then next month, and then next month. And some of these deals I have known to be on the market for 2 and 3 and 4 years. And it's up to you, your tolerance level for that. But for me, once I've had a couple conversations, I am going to let AI do more like 6 to 7 conversations for reality. Then I'm going to let AI do the rest, and it's going to follow up with them until it's either a deal or it's not. All right. So ask great questions. If you're not getting the answers you want, ask better questions. Now, something very important in seeing this business through in buy, owner, finance, sell, and lease option, no matter those of you who are brand new here, welcome. And those of you who have done 100 plus deals, I want you to be reminded that it always comes back to the basics. It always comes back to the foundation. No leads, no business. No leads, no deals. And so anytime over the years, regardless of when it was in the season, at first when I was looking for my first few deals, or when it was in the season, I was doing 10 deals a month, it always came back to when I had low deal flow, it was because I had low lead flow. Now, I want you to type this in the chat. Lead measure, L-E-A-D measure. Lead measure. Now, what's the difference between a lead measure and a lag measure? A lead measure is the thing that comes first. You can force a lead measure. In other words, you can pick up the darn phone and start calling people. That's a lead measure. That's something you have direct control over. But then there's a lag measure. A lag measure you have no control over. It just means if you do the lead measure right, the lag measure is the symptom of that. In other words, if I talk to enough sellers and ask enough sellers if they'll take payments, a lag measure is some of them are going to say yes, and I'm going to start getting contracts. All right, Bill, your seller's going to voicemail. We should start doing cash giveaways. Been forwarded to voicemail. Deal room. Who's for cash giveaways on the deal room? If you vote for cash giveaway, just put me cash in the chat. All right. Got to get my YouTube folks engaged here. All right, and my Zoom folks, you got to put cash. If I get 50 votes in both YouTube land, Anya, I need you to tally these for me. If I get at least 50 votes in YouTube land and Zoom land, we'll start giving away cash next week. Heck yeah. All right. We have a follow-up for Judith here. Judith, send me Roland's number, and I'll be happy to call him for you. Let's see if we can get one more of these folks on the phone. Boom, boom, boom. I'm dialing too slow. I know, Stephanie. Sorry about that.
You're good.
I ran out your music.
Hi, if you record your name and reason for calling, I'll see if this person is available.
Oh, this is one we already negotiated for Angela. All right, we're going to try one more for Tim, and then we're going to call Roland. You guys get value out of these live dials? Everybody awake and alive? Well, all right, we're going to call a follow-up.
So I made a group chat with him and he added Dora in it. Apparently she has some questions.
Awesome. Roland, it's Andrew. How you doing, brother?
Good.
Good. I heard my dad had a good time coming out there and meeting you. He's a great guy. I think he decided to go another route on their end, but we're still interested in it for investment purposes. I understand you and Dora had a couple questions for us. Judith just told me, so I wanted to hit you up and answer those questions for you.
I think once we go through the paperwork,
just so you guys know, this is a purchase agreement that went and looked at. Actually, my dad's looking to buy a house in that same area, so he went and looked at it for Joe and Judith. And then they sent a purchase agreement
on the docu thing that they sent me.
Oh, they put Vanderberg instead of
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an easy change.
But I was just glancing through it. So as soon as I get home or she gets home, we'll run through it real quick, make sure, you know, all our stuff is what she needs. Hold on just a second.
Yeah, take your time, brother.
Yes.
Any add-ons?
Nope.
And I'm gonna give you guys a backstory on this. I think it's gonna be very helpful. Shout out to Judith, by the way.
Just stay connected in the car wash or not, but I gotta wash these dirt off.
Oh, you go ahead and wash it, brother. Yep. If that's it, then we'll get that fixed on the county. No big deal, and they'll get that resent out. And then if you and Dora have any more questions, shoot them over, and be happy to answer them. And otherwise, as soon as we get that okayed, we'll start title work and move along to the next steps.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that it doesn't matter to me, but she's not on the mortgage for this property.
She's on the deed, though, right?
No.
Okay. So then it's just you would have to sign it. She wouldn't need to sign.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. She goes, they got me on there, but I'm not even on. When we got married, I didn't redo anything. We just left it alone. So
that's perfect, brother. Yeah. As long as just you okay it, then no big deal. And you won't have to have her do nothing. And then we'll go from there. All right, brother. You get that car washed and we'll talk again soon. All right. All right. Bye for now. All right. So this is rolling. Now that's a follow-up. And I want you guys type it in the chat. Non-update update. Some of you have heard me talk about this, but I cannot stress it enough because this is the difference between you doing deals and you having sellers falling off the map. The non-update update. Kate is on the keyboard. Heck yeah. Oh, let's see how many. Anya, I hope you're tallying these votes. I see the cash coming in. All right. And I know YouTube's a little delayed, so we gotta make sure we tally them here later in the show because some of my YouTube crew, they don't see the cash to vote till a couple minutes after it's over. So thank you, Anya. So the non-update update, and that's exactly what this is. So what happens is, in this case, Roland is a seller. He owns 4 acres in Boonville, Indiana. And it so happens my dad is actually looking to buy a plot of land to build a house there. So I actually asked him, Joe and Judith sent the lead. They do it virtually. They are in Idaho. And I said, well, Pop, you want to go see this land? If it works for you, you can buy it from Joe and Judith. And he said, of course. And so he looks at it. It wasn't a fit for him. But in the meantime, we had this chat with Roland. And number one, I call Roland per Joe and Judith's request whenever it came in. It came in a few weeks ago. And on the deal room, I call Roland for them. Roland is in the middle of a big snowstorm, right? He's in the middle of a big snowstorm at the time, that big snowstorm that happened. And so while this is going on, we had this chat with Roland. He's in the snowstorm and he says, call me back. And so he says, call me back in a month or two. So what do? We call him back in 2 weeks, just like he asked, right? Now, I share that because follow up consistently. This is the key. You cannot follow up too much. There's no such thing. Unless you're like the realtor that I think got arrested for stalking that sent 153,000 texts in 1 month after. But that's, if you're, anything below 150,000, you're good. I'm kidding. But when it comes to, thank you, Stephanie. When it comes to following up, Judith continues to follow up. And now we have the conversation and he said, and I want to point this out. He says to me, last time we talked, he goes, no, I still haven't got everything out. So guess what I said to him? Well, gosh, what if we just bought it as is and you didn't have to get all the crap out of there? Type it in the chat. Solve their problem. Solve their problem. I can't stress this enough, team. So for all of you who are real estate investors, you're new real estate investors, you're experienced real estate investors, you solve bigger problems. You get paid in direct portion to the size of problems you solve. Bigger problems, bigger money. And so I said to Roland, well, gosh, what if we just take it as is? I mean, would you be open to selling it? And he goes, well, yeah, I just thought I had to clean it out first. And I said, well, you don't got to clean it out first. And so then I want you to type these letters in the chat. USP. USP. What's USP? Unique selling proposition. It's what makes you different. USP. So this is so important, guys. What I'm getting ready to share with you right here is the game changer. I'm going to bring Steve up in a moment. We're going to have a chat. And I want to point out, though, your unique selling proposition, your USP is what makes you different. In other words, this guy says to me, well, gosh, I got a lot of people calling me. And I said, well, cool. Did any of them offer to, and in that case, I mentioned my dad might come out and see it. And I made a joke. I said, did any of them offer for their dad to come out and see it? And he goes, well, no. So, well, I am. Now, it doesn't matter. You know, your dad's probably not the one looking at properties. That's okay. Mine usually isn't either. But in other words, I'm leaning into whatever it is. Funny equals money. And so in that case, if I'm calling in Evansville, my unique selling proposition is going to be, I lived in that town for years. If I am buying in Kansas City, Missouri, my unique selling proposition is going to be that I've been doing this business for years. If I am buying in God knows where and I was brand new, my unique selling proposition may be that I'm just different and I'm willing to go the extra mile. So like understand, you don't have to make some big thing. It's just understanding what is in front of you and using it to your advantage. So I said, well, I'm interested in buying it. I'm interested in buying it as is. And he says, well, I'm getting so many calls. I don't know. I really probably should call them back before I okay anything from you. I said, okay. Have they sent you anything yet in writing? Now, what can he say? He can say, yes, they sent me something in writing. To which point I'm going to say, cool, what did it say? Or he can say, no one else has sent me a thing in writing. And I'm going to say, well, you realize it's nothing but hot air until they do. So in other words, I'm not going to beat up on, quote, competition. I don't even believe in competition. We just get to do cool stuff. But we're asking questions and we're solving problems. It's called, type it in the chat, playing with resistance. Playing with resistance. This is something you're going to hear me talk about all the time because this is the shift, guys. When I'm doing these live calls, so many people think, oh, I've got to deal with these objections. Oh, crap. What if I don't know what to say? No, there's no place to get jammed up when you're playing with resistance. They ask you a question, you ask them a question. They ask you a question you don't know the answer to, you say, oh, no, that's a good question. And so just be real. Just be authentic. And so if you can be authentic, you can be real. And one habit, ask a question, redirect. What do I mean by redirect? Andrew, the worst thing that could happen is they ask me a question and I don't know the answer. And I say, I don't know. And we sit there in awkward silence. Well, don't let it sit there in awkward silence then. Say, I don't know. That's a good question. I'll find out. What other questions would you have? What are you doing? You're immediately regaining traction. Ask the question. All right. In a moment, I'm going to bring Steve up. We're going to have a good chat. I'm excited for this. But before I do that, I have a little video I want you guys to see. Stephanie, can we cue that video up for the crew?
In one word?
Man. Let me look at adjectives really quickly.
I would describe Leo in one word as refreshing.
Say one word for Leo, Asian. By improving himself, he also wanted to improve other people.
Leo is very authentic.
He's like a robot. Leo is a freak of nature. He's like a whiz kid. He's very young, yet he has an old soul.
Energetic.
Very confident. Yep, he's very confident.
Charismatic. One word to describe Leo is a genius.
Wise.
If I had one word to describe Leo, it would be energy.
Optimized.
It would be energetic.
Phenomenal. The word that comes to mind is spiritual. Leo is dedicated.
He's very mellow. He's very calm.
Wisdom. He reminds me of King Solomon. Super wise. He knows how to go about solving a problem. He knows how to speak to people. And most important, he knows how to learn from people.
Andrew, in one word.
Oh, man.
That's a good one. Hold on, let me think about that.
He's a genius too, but I can't say genius about both.
I got to think about that one. I would describe Andrew in one word as inspiring.
Andrew is very sincere and he comes with love.
A boss. Andrew's a boss.
Very kind-hearted.
Driven. Yeah, Andrew is driven.
Genuine.
Is genuine.
Authentic.
Authentic.
He also shared the bad stuff, failures, because you're saying you learn just as much as from your failures as you do your successes. And I think that's really important.
Carrie.
Brilliant.
I'm gonna say powerful.
Very ambitious, very determined, very smart and creative.
And Andrew is intense.
There's a lot of words to describe Andrew, but if I had to choose one word, it would be expert.
Their values, the teamwork that they obviously have, the yin and yang that they have with each other.
Together, they are just a power dynamic. They add so much to this group, and I can't put more value on one and not the other.
They're kind of like the yin and yang. They're so similar, but yet they're so different. You might see Andrew come out in a suit, and you might see Leo come out in sweats. And I didn't know what they were wearing, and then sure enough, they came out on stage. Andrew had on a suit, Leo had on sweats, because they just be themselves. And they teach you that you could be yourself.
Their values and morals. They have outstanding values and morals.
And if they say they're going to do something, they're going to try their level best to do it.
Their harmony, where they work together.
It is not what you would expect. Completely in a weird way, completely authentic and awesome.
Their genuine love and friendship for each other.
They make a fantastic team. They work together excellent.
They both have the excitement.
To everybody in their community.
Their best quality as a team is their synergy. They work well together, they work well off of each other, and you get that balance.
It's just brotherhood, it's family, it's togetherness, it's a clan.
So you can tell that they just have like a level balance, which I think is very great as business partners.
That's fun. So, I have a question or an update for you. I want you to write these dates down. Somebody put them in the chat so everybody's got them if we can put them up on the screen. May 15, 16, 17. May 15, 16, 17. And that is our next live event where Leo and I are going to be hanging out, and all of you guys have an opportunity to come be a part of that, to come to the event. We host these quarterly, and the next one's coming up in Cincinnati, May 15, 16, 17. And you will be dialing live. You will be negotiating your deals live. You'll be able to raise your hand and say, I got one. The energy in the room is incredible. You'll meet private lenders, and who knows, might be an attorney there or two. There might be all sorts of people there you want to meet and get to rub shoulders with. And most importantly, you get to hang out with each other. So if you haven't already made plans to come, May 15, 16, 17, get it booked on your calendars, grab your tickets, and reach out. So all of you who are in the, of course, coaching community, you already have tickets. Those of you who are not, you can reach out to the team and get your tickets. All right. I'm going to bring up Mr. Steve Perry. Before I do we have any questions, Stephanie, in the chats? Going once. Hey, here we go. Question. Andrew, have you seen the option in selling relative to FinCEN? Seller puts a house in a land trust, etc., and sells the entity. Good question, Bill. So FinCEN is a law that actually takes effect next week. I'm glad that you mentioned that. It's March 1st, I believe it is. And in doing so, expect a little more delays. It's some more government intervention. We love the government. We love when they intervene. And so I'm sure it was much needed. And I share, this is being recorded, okay? I share that for every one of you. Sometimes my humor is only for me, I know. So FinCEN is a rule, thank you, Stephanie. FinCEN's a rule that will cause things to potentially be delayed, more reporting required, and it's a lot of pages long. And so I've read through it. I talked about it a few weeks ago. It is coming into effect. Bill, to answer your question, there is technicalities. Yes. Can you potentially have the seller put in a land trust? Which, by the way, we've already done multiple times over the years where the seller will actually put the house in a land trust and then assign us beneficial interest of the land trust. Our attorney has set it up that way in the past. And that's a way that you can absolutely do it. Again, my answer of anything legal or anything technical, and Bill, you're doing exactly right. You're asking questions, is get a great attorney in the state you're closing in and make sure that yes, brainstorm with them, but make sure that not only, because I can tell you my perspective on it, and that yes, we have had sellers put them in the trust and then bought the trust, but every state is different. And so very state dependent and very much ensuring that you have an attorney who is a professional in this, who approves and oversees the transaction. And so that's the point I want to drive home for every one of you is make sure that you always close with a real estate attorney. Make sure you're doing your taxes with a qualified CPA. Like, that's why we have these professionals. Yes, can you do more stuff yourself? For sure. But I highly recommend hiring the pros to do what they do best, just to make sure the darn thing's done right. All right. So good question, Bill. Let's bring up Steve to the virtual stage. There he is. Hey. Hey, Andrew. Wait, where'd you go? Good to see you. Welcome, Steve. Stephanie, thank you so much for keeping this thing popping on this beautiful Wednesday where we are on the Deal Room Live. Steve, what the heck are you up to, my brother? Oh, hang on. I ain't got no audio from you. I don't know if that's my end or yours. Perfect.
That's on my end. I got it fixed.
Welcome, welcome. What part of the country are you in?
Idaho. Idaho's on display today. Judith's here. I'm here. Got my partner here.
And how did we first connect?
I believe it was a Facebook post or maybe a YouTube advertisement.
Very cool. So we connected a few months ago. You started hanging out with us online, and we got to connect. And before I knew it, you was one of those action takers. You're like me. You're the one who gets there early and sits on the front row and takes lots of notes. And then we got to meet in Houston, live in person, and that's exactly what you did. You and your partner Sarah. So you show up to the event and you're dialing. I want to ask you, well, how many months ago did we meet?
I met you guys online in November.
Very cool.
Just before Thanksgiving.
And was you already experienced in crushing it in real estate, or was you just getting started?
No experience at all. Had a lot of interest, but hadn't done anything.
Yeah. What was that? And this is something for everybody listening. I want them to get to hear this because, a lot of times when I do an interview or I do a podcast, I talk to Judy, who's been in the world for many years, or, Chris, who came to a meetup 3 years ago and watching his life transform, and getting the privilege to sit down and talk with somebody like you, who we've only been connected for like 4 months. Like, I want to have you speak to that. Somebody maybe on YouTube right now, they're going, this is the first time I've seen these guys. Like, what the heck is going on? What resonated and what made us click?
Well, I mentioned before that there was some interest in real estate, but I mean, how do you just jump in and do stuff, So no guidance. My partner had joined another group, and we'd done like a what do you call it? Like a training program with them. And then when we got to actually doing it, there was no support. And we're like, what do we do now? That's when I found you. And yeah, I mean, from the very first time I watched you, we started, I like to say it this way. Actually, I heard this coming from you, I can't remember how you said it in Houston, but basically you got us hooked. You gave us ways to find free leads, and then I started calling them, and I started talking to him, and I was like, he did it. He got me some confidence that I would never have just gone up and done on my own. So you got us taking action right away, and that was different.
Thank you for that. And yes, it's your gateway drug.
Gateway drug, there it is. Yeah.
So you start finding FSBOs. You do it as, and actually we're going to be doing that again here today because somebody's requested it, and I'm going to be spending, after we get done chatting here in a moment, I'm going to be helping everyone get some FSBOs and get some leads today. But in doing that, something you did is like I said, you was an action taker. Immediately, you was out getting leads. And so what was that journey like? In November, we meet. You're going, hey, we're part of this other program, but I'm feeling not supported in that other program. You come in, you start getting, you take the gateway drug, you start taking action, you start getting lead flow in. Then what happens next?
The next step was actually to talk to your brother.
Oh, wow.
Talk to Aaron about, where do we go from here? How do I get more hand holding? Because I mean, I can clearly do some of the beginning actions, but then what happens next? And I love the way that you say it, which is, worry about what happens next when you're there. Start with the action, and then one step at a time. So talking with him, it was clear what the next action was. It was to get more hand holding, get someone in my corner, get someone to back me up when the next step shows up. And so we jumped in. We're doing coaching, and getting a lot of support in the community and a lot of energy. It's a lot of fun. Honestly, that's one of the things I'm getting from this is there's ways to do real estate where it sucks, and then there's ways to do it where it's fun. And I like the fun way that Andrew does it better.
Yeah. And thank you for that. And, I say sometimes, like, if I had to sit here in this office alone and call sellers, I would hate my life. But if I get to sit here in my office and see all your beautiful smiling faces and your incredible hair, I love your hair, Steve. And I get to sit here and have conversations, like, it brings me joy. It brings me energy. I'm sure you guys can tell. And so in doing that, and I think that's something missing in a lot of businesses, is like, how do we make it fun? I always talk about not just the possibility of success, but the probability of success. And for me, I know my probability of success goes up if I can enjoy waking up every day, and I can't stop myself from doing the things that I need to do because I want to do them. What has happened for you? Because you've just had some recent changes. I want to hear, because everyone on here, they're listening. Some people work jobs, some people are full-time investors already, some are in between. And you go, Steve, in your case, from your 9 to 5, and from my understanding, you've just had a major change in that you was telling me about when we were in Houston together. So bring everybody up to speed there.
Yeah. So a little bit on my story. I'm a chiropractor. I've been a chiropractor for 15 years. I love it. I've had a really good time taking care of people. It's my passion to serve and to help people live a better life. I mean, that's really what I'm about. Did that for 8 years. We lived in Reno and decided we needed to come to Idaho for our kids. Wanted a better environment for them to grow up in. And so I opened up my own shop, built it from nothing to really a great experience. I have 4 kids, and oldest, she's in cosmetology school. So that's a trip. Our
That's awesome.
17-year-old is going to graduate next year, next school year. We have a 13-year-old and then a 10-year-old, all girls. Last one's a boy. So, I mean, really, they're my world, and they're the reason why I do what I do. Recently had some transition in work. There were circumstances beyond my control. I was kind of tired of running my own office for 6 years. I love being in the office, but I hated working on the business. I hated it. And so I just made the decision that I was going to transition out of that. Wanted to, just do the chiropractic thing, not wanting to own my own business anymore. So I jumped in with a friend. Should have spent more time talking about it before I jumped in with him. Because after 2 months, I was like, this isn't it either. Like, this is a bad gig. Just oil and water, we don't mix. And so it's been a transition period for about 1.5 years. Ultimately, I didn't want to be chained to any office. I want to travel. That's one of my passions as well. Serving people and travel. And, how do I get both of those done?
Yeah.
So so in this transition period, it comes to circumstances outside of my control where I'm not going to be employed anymore as a chiropractor W-2 anymore. So if I want to do it, I got to go build it again, or I can pivot to something else. And that's kind of when I found you guys, and I talked to Aaron, and it became clear, hey, here's what we need to do. So that's when I jumped in.
Heck yeah. I'm excited for you, Steve. And how many kids do you have?
So 4. Yeah, 3 girls, last one's a boy.
So you have 4 kids, incredible wife who I haven't yet got to meet.
Not yet.
But you, your wife, your 4 kids, and now transitioning out of chiropractor. And I want to ask you, because, somebody listening to this who's been around for a little while, finding inspiration, or somebody who's brand new listening to this going, oh my gosh, like, how do I just start? And you're sharing this being 4 months in, like, how do you feel, man? Are you scared? Are you excited? Are you somewhere in between? Does it depend
Yeah.
on the day?
Yeah, absolutely. It depends on the day. I was telling someone yesterday, I'm freaked out and equally excited.
Yeah.
The way I was thinking about it this morning is, it's kind of like you're walking through the fog and you don't really know what's ahead. You know that there's light outside the fog. The fog doesn't last forever. It's not permanent.
Yeah.
And all you can do is really just kind of imagine what the light looks like at first, until eventually you'll get to the point where you can kind of see the light, and then you'll emerge into the light.
Hmm.
Where I'd say I am right now is in the imaginary phase. In other words, I'm able to imagine what that could look like, even though it's challenging and it's difficult, and it is fun, but it's challenging. It's a struggle. I'm not gonna, I'm gonna be honest about that. It's a struggle. Um, so I'm living as if I'm already there, so I can be grateful for every day, even though right now, I guess let me put it this way. I'm living currently in the stage where I want to say I'm able to look back on, right? It's hard to be in that moment and say that's where I'm at. You just want to be on the other side, right?
Yeah. What a great perspective. I think that's an important takeaway because often, we have 2 choices really. And we can romanticize the outcome, but what about where we are? And the fact you can look at it and go, okay, I'm very excited to not necessarily be here, except what am I getting to learn while I'm here? Thank you, God. And I always have felt that attitude from you, and I think that's a vital takeaway for anybody listening, because business is hard. Being a chiropractor, I'm assuming that's also hard. And
There's some stuff.
But real estate investing is hard. And I share it because it's a lot about our belief. It doesn't have to be hard. It actually, we negotiate deals. You see it every day. It's not hard in that sense, except mentally it's hard. You wake up some morning, you go, I don't want to talk to sellers today. I don't want to file evictions today. I just want every seller to call me and sell me their house, and I want every buyer to call me and pay me. But that's not real life. Crap goes sideways. Contracts fall through. That's what makes business fun. That's what makes every day an opportunity. And I often tell people I quit at least 60 times. And that was probably just in like the first month, because this business isn't always the easiest. But as you're stepping into this, Steve, what has surprised you about this business over the last several months, for good or bad?
Great question. Surprised of the support. When I went and met you guys in person, it was better than I imagined. So feeling, held by Judy and by all the people that I met, you guys are phenomenal at what you do and supporting the people that work with you.
Thank you for that. What would you say? And I think that's the biggest thing. Anybody listening to this, and we're getting ready to dive in and get some leads here in just a moment. We're going to call some more sellers. But anybody listening to this, and you're seeing Steve, and you realize that things often in our mind, the scary suddenly leaves whenever it becomes the known. And whenever, whether it's the first contract, right? It's, oh my gosh, that wasn't so bad. Or whether it is the first Boslow deal, or whether it's the first partnership, or whatever the thing is. And suddenly you go, well, gosh, that was easier than I was making it out to be. I remember taking my driving test years ago, and I failed the first time. And I remember going back, and I was so stressed. I'm like praying over this driving test. I am worried about this driving test. And finally, when I passed, I'm like, whoa, I just like put the car. I was making it so much harder than it was. And that's the majority of our life, if we're honest with ourselves, is we live in the scary. What would you say? This is the biggest takeaway I want everyone to have from you, Steve. What has been the thing that has allowed you to be the type of person to say yes now and then figure out how? Because you've not been someone, I've not ever seen, maybe you have behind the scenes, I've not seen you overthinking. I've just seen you taking action, getting certain results.
There's a recorded call from the 19th of February in Ahmed's, I think it's the Creative Closers, where I answered that. I'll do the very brief version. If you want the longer expanded version, go there. I don't have the luxury of being an overthinker on this. Action is the only thing that's going to get me from where I'm at to where I want, need, desire, deserve, have to be, right? Where I want to get to is where I am going to get to, and I have to get to. The only thing that stands between me and there is action. And so what I've done is I've shortened the time between the opportunity or the environment to taking the action. Instead of overthinking it, that's the gap, right? So I've basically made it to where they're one and the same. Something shows up and I just take action immediately. Take action now is something I wrote down no less than 12 times in Houston, because I heard you say it so many times, and I've just kind of created that as part of me, rather than my old self, which was an overthinker. I've adopted the mantra of, take action now, figure it out as you go.
Yeah.
It's ready, fire, aim.
That's powerful. And I think that is it. What you just said, I don't have the luxury to overthink. Comfort is the enemy of growth. No good growth has ever happened in our comfort zone. Every one of you listen to this. I guarantee you, if you think through life, every quantum leap you've ever had that was meaningful came because you had to get uncomfortable, or because whether it was forcing yourself, whether it was going to the gym and hiring a personal trainer, whether it was jumping into real estate and getting somebody to kick you in the butt, or whether it was a forced era, being fired from a job, or getting a partnership that fell apart. Every single quantum leap came from a place of discomfort. And I think that's a powerful takeaway, Steve. What's a word of wisdom for everybody listening to this? And before you answer it, I just want to say thank you for being willing to come on here and share with everyone, where you are and what's happening in your world. Because I know you're going to be an inspiration and are an inspiration to all the people who are on here now and the hundreds more who will be watching the replay.
Word of wisdom. I wish I had something great to say right here. What I would say is, wake up in the morning with gratitude in your heart, and then act as if you're in the position that you're trying to get to. So as you make the calls, ask yourself, what would, future me do? Future me who is successful, future me who has all the answers. What would that person do? And then walk those steps in that way.
That's powerful. Act as if. Steve, I am excited. I'm excited what the next 4 months look like, let alone the next year. And I'm giddy for you, for your wife, for your kids. And it's very exciting times, my brother. And we're a text and a call and an email and a nudge away, or a Zoom call away, whatever it is you need. And I'm excited for you, man. The best is yet to come.
Appreciate all your support, Andrew.
Thank you, brother. Give it up for Steve in the chats. Heck yeah. Thank you for being here. All right. We got some leads to get. So, every one of you who are new, and those of you who are experienced, I challenge you. I did this a little while back. Chad, who you guys hear me talk about. He's got 9 kids. He texts me a check. I've lost track of how many he got, but he'll text me a check every little while. Picture of a $28,000 check, a picture of a $20,000 non-refundable check, a picture of a $62,000 cash out check. And I share this because I am doing this exercise recently, and as many of you have seen me do, where we go to Facebook Marketplace, we message 10 people, and we start getting phone numbers. And Chad texts me after. He's been in the community for a year and a half and done, gosh, a dozen plus deals, maybe more. And he texts me and he goes, "Thank you for reminding me. I need to get back to getting more leads again." And why? Because he's just gotten busy. He's got 9 kids. He's got some flip houses going. He's got projects going, and he just gotten busy, and he just left the basics for a couple of months. And I share that with you guys because no matter where you are in the journey, whether you're brand new or whether you're experienced, it's coming back and going, okay, how do I lean back in? And Steve, I just shout you out, brother, for being so open, so willing to share, and so, open. It's just inspiring. And I'm excited for what comes out of that for you and for everybody listening to this. So I challenge every one of you to go pick a town. And actually, I don't know if I can do this. Stephanie, can I screen share in just a moment?
Absolutely.
Amazing. I'm going to challenge you guys to pick a town. I'm going to do this exercise. We're going to do one more call, and then we're going to wrap. To pick a town in the Midwest is preference. And do this today. But Andrew, I'm experienced. Cool. You'll still thank me later. But Andrew, I'm brand new. Cool. Pick a market and go DM some people. So you're going to go on Facebook. You're going to go to, hey, that's me. You're going to go to Marketplace. And you're going to, it's on Cincinnati, Ohio. We'll just leave it there. We're going to say house for sale by owner. All right? You're going to go to Facebook Marketplace. You're going to choose a city, and you're going to go house for sale by owner. I'm going to call another seller, and I just want to remind every one of you, get back to the freaking basics. So we're going to go on here, and this is the message. I want you sending 10 people today. I don't care if you're brand new or you're experienced or you're anywhere in between. Your message to 10 people should say, hey, I'm interested in this property. Have a couple questions. You guys see my screen? All of you on YouTube see my screen? What's the best number to reach you? Let me make sure my YouTube people can see me. Can you guys see me? Yes? Oh, yes. Okay, good. So, we're going to send it. Go send 10 of those today. On average, 5. We'll get back with you with a phone number. Now you've got leads to dial before the day's out. Okay? I know most of you, everybody in Zoom, you've probably already done this. All of you on YouTube, maybe it's your first time, maybe you've done it before. You go do this a handful of times. You go get these numbers, and then you just use the opening call script to dial them. Your whole world will change in a matter of days. It is amazing what can happen when you start putting this together. And by the way, I just want to shout out my incredible team. And for the sake of this moment, especially Stephanie, I pull so many surprises on her today, and she makes it flawless, like it's all planned. And so if we could just shout out Stephanie in the chats for a moment, she's incredible. And I told her the last 3 weeks, I'm like, I'm going to get you the agenda before time. And then it's right before time. And I'm like, next week, I will get the agenda before time. And so I appreciate an incredible team. So any questions in the chat before we do this last dial, Stephanie?
I haven't seen any pop up, but if you want to drop a cue for me, that'd be awesome. Well, actually, this one's for Steve. I hope you don't mind me putting in there.
Perfect.
It said, Dr. Steve, can you sing? Because you definitely have the whole Steve Perry journey look going.
Good question. We waited too long. I waited too long to ask, didn't I? Put your questions in the chat. Put a Q in front of them so Stephanie can find them and put them on the screen for us. We are calling.
Your name and reason for calling. I'll see if this person is available.
Andrew, calling about your State Road house.
Thanks, Andrew. Please stay on the line. I'm sorry, this person is not available. If you would like to leave an additional
All right, we're going to try him again. Double dial him.
Hi, if you record your name and reason for calling, I'll see if this person is available.
Calling on the house on South State Road 57.
Thanks. Please stay on the line.
Challenge you to take certain action. Those who take action get results. There is a whole lot of people over the next 12 months who are going to get left behind. There's a whole lot of people who are not going to be doing deals. They're going to be the same darn place they are in 2027 as they are in 2026, worried about AI taking over, worried about what the market's doing. And then there's going to be those of you, Tom and Shobna and Roseanne and Mike, who I see on my screen right now, and Krista and Bill and whoever else is popping up on my screen. And Steve, there's going to be those of you. What's up, Sue? So good to see you. And there's going to be those of you who take certain action. And a year from now, you're not saying, I wish I would have. You're saying, I'm glad I did. And I want you to know you're in the right place. We launched Truka in short. Leo and myself have a desire that we help people increase their money and improve their relationship with money. Because I'm a firm believer that your money will always come back down to meet your level of personal growth. Ask me how I know. My money outgrew my personal growth a few years ago, and it quickly came back down to meet my personal growth. To improve your relationship with yourself, with money, and with God. Because I think if you know you're a king's kid made in God's image, meant for more, every day you can wake up energized. I'm not talking about magical health. I understand some days we're tired. Shoot, today I woke up tired. But you can wake up every day excited about the mission that you've been called to and the mission we get to live. And it's not just making more money. Yes, we get to have fun doing deals. And I say every morning, the first words out of my mouth are, thank you, God. Thank you for this business. Thank you for the incredible Truka crew. Thank you for the team. Thank you for those around me. Thank you, God. And so I just challenge you guys, keep that perspective. We are in exciting times. We are in a golden age of opportunity. We are in a time where opportunities are abundant. It's never been more clear. Yes, the wealth gap is getting bigger, and people talk about that. But I want to point out something that a lot of people miss in this very exciting time. As the wealth gap gets bigger, a lot of people fail to mention that everyone has gotten generally richer. Here's what I mean. People who were substantially very wealthy a century ago did not have a lot of the luxuries that a lot of people today who are some of the poorest crew in the U.S. currently have, like warm running water, like opportunities for information, the internet, so many things. I mention this not to belittle tough times that people go through at all, but to say, if you start looking at things in a good way, you realize things continue to get better. things continue to grow and we get to solve more problems. And there's always the people who are on the cutting edge. There's always the people who are surrounded by incredible people. If you haven't read the book by Norbert Vincent Peale, The Power of Positive Living, I read that and finished it a few weeks ago. Oh my gosh, I love that book. Yes, I know somebody, I said that recently, and somebody said The Power of Positive Thinking. I love that one too. But he has a book called The Power of Positive Living, and I just went through that this year, and it was incredible book. It's a good perspective shift, realizing that everything we do every single day adds up to a certain result, and our perspective on the day will determine our outcome. A week from now, we're going to be back on the deal room, hanging out, and I'm going to be looking at your smiling faces, and either the past 7 days, you're going to have made progress, done calls, done dials, and enjoyed your life. Or assuming you have the discipline, you're part of our world, you're going to have done calls, you're going to have made progress, and you're going to have been stressed every day and not enjoyed your life. In other words, if the baseline is I'm going to take action every day, I'm going to do calls every day, this is the business I want to be in every day, then why not enjoy the life along the way? Doesn't mean there's not moments of decisions or tough decisions. Doesn't mean there's not moments where things go wrong, but it means that we can keep a right perspective. We can keep momentum. We can keep going. We can keep building. And for all goodness sakes, follow up, follow up, follow up. You can never follow up too much. All right. It's good to see your smiling faces. We're going to be for our coaching crew, I believe tomorrow. Is tomorrow? Yes, tomorrow. We'll be back on Zoom doing deals live. Best decision ever, Roseanne says, to make this work. It was a struggle to find the funding, but it truly changed my mindset. Thank you, Roseanne. We're glad you're here. It's only the beginning of much greater things. YouTube crew, thank you for being here. Zoom crew, thank you for being here. Zoom crew, I'll see you tomorrow. Everyone else, I'll see you next week on the Deal Room. Same place, same time. May 15, 16, 17. Grab your tickets and plan to join us in Cincy. We're going to have an incredible time. All right, keep the momentum. Be blessed, team. Bye for now.
Thank you,